The next compass orientation system to look at is the auxiliary coordinate system. Compass orientation is different from the standard top, front, side, and view orientations. Equally important is that ACSs can be saved for future use, saving you from reorienting the compass each time you need to work on a particular surface or in a particular ACS orientation. Now, ACSs were discussed in the Level 2 course, but I'll cover some of the same instruction here. You're going to be using the WA and GA shortcuts and look at the ACS dialog box as well. Now look at the object on the left of the screen. The object of the exercise right now is to place this text in the plane of this sloping face. And to do that, we'll set up an ACS just for that purpose. Now let's make sure we're all on the same page here. I need to set up the text styles. And I'm using engineering with a 3/4 inch height and width and justification top left or thereabouts. So that is set up. And now we can start the exercise. So first thing is to draw the shape itself. So I'm going to use the plane line tool. I'll start over here. Now I'm in the top orientation right now, which is exactly where I want to go. But before we continue, just note that the ACS icon is in the top orientation and is not at the global origin at this point. So the first line to draw is the base of this figure, which is 1 foot long or 300 millimeters. So I simply enter 1 at the keyboard. Left click, that's that first edge. Need to go up, so E to rotate the compass. Find the same distance with the previous distance option. Left click, come across. Need 6 inches this way or 150. So 0.5 at the keyboard for 6 inches. Left click, drag down. Need to find the point now above the starting point here, 6 inches up. So I'll go down to here. AccuDraw is on, so I can press O to put the compass there, drag upwards by 6 inches, and again, find the previous distance marker, left click, and just drag straight down. And we're done. Now let's do this the easiest way. I'm going to make a copy of the front face. I'm going to copy that this way by 1 foot. And E to rotate the compass, so I can copy in the correct direction. And that's a 1 foot distance. Left click, and there's my copy. Now we'll do the intermediate lines. There's the first line. I could draw each line itself, but I'm just going to copy this one, which is a little quicker. There we go, all copied. Now let's start putting the text in place. So I'm going to start the Place Text tool, and the text will be slope, and that's got to go into this face here. So I need to set up the ACS just for that face. And to do that, I don't need to go to the auxiliary toolbox at all. I can start right here at the corner with that tentative point, put the compass there, so F11 and O, compass goes there. Now I'm going to do a rotation of the compass using the RA shortcut. I want to do a permanent rotation at this point. So RA. And now watch the prompts in the status line very carefully. First thing is define the x-axis origin. Well, that's where I am right now. So left click to accept that point. Then it wants the x-axis. Well, that will be this way. So there's my next point, and you can see the ACS coming into place. Left click for that. And now it wants me to define the y-axis. Well, that will be up here at this point. And I can accept that point too. Now the compass has rotated into that sloping plane, and I can place my text. I'll just prop it right there. And we're done. Now I could have located that text precisely with X and Y dimensions, which will be in that sloping plane, but I've just plopped it into place. Now the next thing I want to do is to save that ACS so I can use it again. And to do that quickly, I will use the WA shortcut, which means write ACS, as in WRITE. So what I need to do is cancel the text editor. Now I can do my WA. And I need to name this ACS. Now in the name box, you'll see my original 3D ACS, which we made earlier on to force the ACS into design cube mode. But I need a new name, so I'm going to call this slope to match the text I've put in there. And now it's saved. Now notice that the ACS pops to that slope text Now, to see how this works in practice, I'm going to change the ACS plane and place some more text. So this time I'm going to go to text again. And I'm going to place some more text and call this front. And I'm going to put this text in the plane of the front view. So again, I'm going to find that tentative point. F11 for focus in AccuDraw and O for the compass. And this time, rather than use RA to permanently rotate, I simply need to use the front orientation. I just press F at the keyboard. Rotates the compass to the front. And now I can place the text in that front plane. Now notice that the ACS icon is still in its saved position from the previous text placement. And that's because I haven't saved this new front orientation. Now, of course, I don't need to save it because it's a standard orientation. I can access that anytime. If I were to save this orientation, though, then the ACS icon would switch to the front orientation. Now, for the next little bit, I do need to change the ACS icon. So I'm going to use my 3D ACS. So this time I'm going to use the shortcut GA, which means Get Auxiliary Coordinate. So F11 to make sure I'm in AccuDraw. GA pops up my Get ACS box. Don't want slope, I want my 3D. And we'll say OK. Notice now that the ACS has gone from here and is returned to the top corner and is in standard design mode orientation. So in other words, I've changed the ACS orientation to design mode from that sloping face. Now, if I wanted to draw something else on that sloping face, I would have to reattach the saved ACS. So let's do that. At the keyboard, GA, or Get ACS, go and pick my slope. Okay. It pops into place exactly where I left it last time. I can now draw anything in the plane of that face. Why don't you, on your own, pop some more elements, like a couple of circles, for example, in this sloping face, just to see that it does actually work. Now, in addition to using the shortcuts, of course, I could go directly to the ACS dialog box. And there's my original 3D. Here's my new slope ACS, which has been saved. And note that this one and this one are the same. That's because my current ACS, which is this one, is being copied from my saved slope. To take the ACS back to the design cube, we'll double-click the 3D, and we're back to the standard design cube orientation. And that's, of course, because I have only one view open, so that's the active view. Double-clicking it automatically transfers the ACS to the view itself. Now, it would be nice if you practiced a little bit, because in the next video, we're going to take this just a little bit further.